Oh, are you ready for the best day ever? Oh, today we're going to be going into why the heck did they even invent DAX calculated columns anyways, right? Like, big mystery. We're going to go into it. Oh man, I am so excited to like get into this so you can understand why the heck do these things even exist. All right. So like, why do we have such a thing out there, right? Like they are a pain in the neck, but let's talk architecture, right? So enterprise teams have been doing this for a long time. You have a data warehouse. Data warehouse is great. Everything is set up perfect. Mwah. Like you don't have to worry about it. You've got your data inside your enterprise data warehouse. You bring it all together. You add in calculations, you add in security, you add in joins, you add in all sorts of like business friendly rules and information. You do that inside of the semantic layer, and then you present it out in your reports. And that's really good. And that worked great for a lot of enterprises, right? At that enterprise level. Well, there's a challenge there though. There are always gaps in what's available at that enterprise level. And the Kimball architecture identified this like a long time ago that, you know what? That data warehouse is great. That's good for the enterprise, but there's going to be teams of analysts and data workers that are going to need the ability to move quicker, to change things faster, to enrich, to test, to experiment. And that data needs to persist itself someplace, so you don't have to manage all sorts of crazy rules and all sorts of other challenges that can't go into the data warehouse, but don't necessarily make sense to be persisted inside of the reporting layer, because that just kind of like walls it off and isolates it. So Kimball said, and 25, 30 years ago, like, hey, we need to have this thing called a data mart, okay? And so that was 100% approved. Like, this is the known architectural pattern, right? Now, there's some kind of challenges that, like, 25, 30 years ago, adding a data mart inside of an architecture added some additional costs. And to some people, that additional cost was significant. All right. Like, you know what, if you're going to spend $1,000, $10,000 a year or more, I mean, easily more, if you're managing a whole bunch of analysts and you're going to bring in a DBA and you're going to build out pipelines and you're going to manage all this stuff using all of these like detailed coding tools and capabilities, it's going to cost you, maybe $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 to manage a data mart on a year in, year out basis. So a lot of teams, a lot of companies said, you know what? That's too much for me. That we can't do that. We've got to do something else. So they created this ad hoc architecture that eliminated the data mart from within it, right? They just said, you know what? Instead of having that data mart, we're going to leverage tools and capabilities inside the semantic model to do those transformations, to load our data, to like be able to do a different enrichment activities from our reports, right? Because that $500,000 in spend was just too much money, right? Now, this worked good, to start off with, and many companies are still doing this today, and it feels like things are working because they pull from this other SQL server or some JSON files or Teams or whatever it is, right? They've got this stuff that go in, but that's when the challenge has started to rise. And honestly, the challenge started to rise like right away, right off the bat. These challenges started to like impact how we build and operate, but there wasn't really good solutions. So what ended up happening is, as these sources started to grow, we started to actually build out more and more semantic models. And then that source of truth really started to become muddied and watered down and really challenging, right? Now it's not just a handful of semantic models where you've got your code and you've got business logic, but you potentially have dozens, if not hundreds or thousands of semantic models. And the sales definition in one is different than the sales definition in the other. Units sold, maybe the definition's the same, but when was the last time it was refreshed? And it just becomes an architectural nightmare. That's where, like, We've been pushing to bring that data mart and make this more accessible and understandable for companies to start to use and operate. Now, inside of the data mart, we used to that cost used to be $500,000. Now, with new technology, new tools, that cost is plummeting down through the floor, where we're talking like, especially with something like Microsoft Fabric, it doesn't have to be Fabric, but with Microsoft Fabric, you can do it for like under $240 a month, right? So gone is that really heavy lift in order to get those capabilities there. Can you spend more money? Yeah, 100% you can, and you should spend exactly what you need to do, right? But it no longer depends upon like spending, right? Like, so it doesn't depend on anything. Where should you be managing your logic? It's in a data mart. It's not inside of DAX columns, okay? Stop doing that. Move all of your transformations upstream, all right? Now, in the next video, we're going to be going into like, what is this data mart layer that I just started talking about, so you can understand that more. There's a lot of great options there. I can't wait to tell you about it. If you found this useful, or you want to fight me on this stuff, and like leave comments down below, make sure you like, subscribe. And if all this is just too difficult for you, head over to KrayosBI.com, click on Get Me a Data God, and myself or one of the other data gods will reach out to you and we'll give you a helping hand. All right. You have a great day. Make it the best day ever. Peace. Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.